If you're over 60, there's a very good chance you're making a breakfast mistake that's silently weakening your bones. And the worst part? You probably have no idea it's happening. You might think you're doing everything right. Maybe you're having toast and coffee, or oatmeal with a banana, perhaps scrambled eggs with orange juice. All of these sound healthy, don't they? But here's the problem. Most traditional breakfast meals are missing one critical ingredient that your bones desperately need to repair themselves after 60. And without it, no matter how much calcium you take or how many supplements you swallow, your bones will continue to lose density day after day, year after year. Let me be clear, this isn't about blaming you. Most seniors were never taught that breakfast plays such a powerful role in bone health. We were told to drink milk, take calcium pills, and maybe do some weight-bearing exercise. But no one explained that what you eat in the morning sets the stage for whether your bones rebuild or break down throughout the entire day. Your body has a natural rhythm. And in the morning, right after you wake up, your bone-building cells called osteoblasts are most active. They're ready to absorb nutrients, repair microfractures, and strengthen your skeleton. But if you're not feeding them the right fuel at breakfast, that window closes, and those cells go hungry. Now, you might be wondering, what's this one thing I'm missing? We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, I want you to understand why this matters so much more after 60 than it did when you were younger. Because once you understand what's happening inside your body, the solution becomes obvious. And more importantly, it becomes something you can actually control. Think about this. When you were in your 30s or 40s, your bones could recover from almost anything. A missed meal here, a week without exercise there, it didn't matter much. Your body had plenty of hormones, strong digestion, and fast cellular repair. But after 60, everything slows down. Your stomach doesn't absorb nutrients as well. Your hormone levels drop. And your bones? They start losing more calcium than they can replace. So when you sit down to breakfast and eat the same foods you've always eaten, foods that worked fine when you were younger, your body simply can't use them the way it used to. You're not getting the building blocks your bones need. And day by day, your skeleton gets weaker. You might not feel it right away, but over months and years, it shows up as stiffness, loss of balance, fragility, and eventually fractures that take forever to heal. The good news? There's a simple, natural, and incredibly effective way to fix this. And it all starts with one small addition to your breakfast. Something that's been studied by researchers, recommended by nutritionists, and used by seniors all over the world to restore bone strength naturally. You don't need a prescription. You don't need expensive treatments. You just need to know what to add and how to use it consistently. So let's dive in. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that missing ingredient is, why it works, and how to make it part of your morning routine starting tomorrow. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your body after 60. Because once you understand this, everything else makes sense. Your bones are not solid, unchanging structures. They're alive. Every single day, old bone tissue breaks down, and new bone tissue is supposed to replace it. This process is called bone remodeling, and it's been happening inside you since the day you were born. When you're young, this system works beautifully. Your body breaks down a little bone, and it builds back even more. That's how you grew taller, how fractures healed quickly, and how your skeleton stayed strong through decades of movement and stress. But after 60, something shifts. Your body still breaks down old bone tissue, but it doesn't rebuild it as fast or as completely. This creates a gap, and over time, that gap leads to thinner, weaker, more fragile bones. So why does this happen? There are a few key reasons. First, your stomach produces less acid as you age. That might not sound like a big deal, but stomach acid is what helps you absorb calcium, magnesium, and other bone-building minerals for your food. Without enough acid, even if you're eating calcium-rich foods, your body can't pull those nutrients out and send them to your bones. They just pass through. Second, your hormone levels change. For women, estrogen drops significantly after menopause, and estrogen plays a huge role in protecting bone density. For men, testosterone declines, which also affects bone strength and muscle mass. These hormonal shifts make it much harder for your bones to hold onto the minerals they need. Third, your muscles get weaker. And believe it or not, muscle strength and bone strength are deeply connected. When your muscles pull on your bones during movement, it sends a signal to your skeleton that says, we need to stay strong. But if you're less active, or if your muscles have weakened, that signal fades. Your bones stop getting the message that they need to rebuild. And fourth, your body's ability to produce certain proteins and enzymes that support bone repair slows down. One of the most important of these is collagen. Collagen is the framework that holds calcium and other minerals in place inside your bones. Think of it like the steel rebar inside concrete. Without it, your bones become brittle, even if they have calcium. After 60, your body produces far less collagen naturally. And this is one of the main reasons bones become so fragile with age. Now here's the part most people don't realize. All of these changes, the reduced absorption, the hormone shifts, the muscle loss, the collagen decline, they don't mean your bones are beyond repair. It just means your body needs more support than it used to. And that support needs to come from the right nutrients at the right time in the right form. You can't rely on what worked when you were younger. You need a smarter strategy. And that strategy begins with your very first meal of the day. Your bones are most receptive to nutrition in the morning. That's when your cells are primed to absorb, rebuild, and strengthen. So if you skip breakfast, or if you eat something that doesn't contain the nutrients your bones are begging for, you're missing the single best opportunity of the day to fight bone loss. But if you get it right, if you add the right ingredient to your breakfast, you can actually reverse some of that damage and start rebuilding strength from the inside out. You probably heard the saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But when it comes to bone health after 60, that saying isn't just motivational. It's biological fact. Let me explain why. While you sleep, your body goes into repair mode. It works on healing tissues, balancing hormones, and yes, rebuilding bone. But by the time you wake up, your body has used up most of its stored nutrients. Your cells are essentially running on empty. And the very first thing you eat in the morning determines whether your bones get the fuel they need to continue that repair process, or whether they're left waiting, weakened, and vulnerable. Here's what happens on a cellular level. Inside your bones, there are two types of cells constantly at work. Osteoclasts, which break down old bone tissue, and osteoblasts, which build new bone tissue. Ideally, these two are balanced. But after 60, osteoclasts often work faster than osteoblasts can keep up. That's the bone loss we talked about earlier. Now, osteoblasts need specific nutrients to do their job. They need protein to create the bone matrix. They need calcium and magnesium to mineralize that matrix. They need vitamin D to help absorb those minerals. And they need collagen to hold everything together. Without these nutrients, osteoblasts simply can't build new bone, no matter how hard they try. And here's the key. Osteoblast activity peaks in the morning. Studies show that bone formation is most active in the hours after you wake up. That's your golden window. If you eat a nutrient-rich breakfast that supports bone repair, your osteoblasts get to work immediately. They absorb what they need, and they start rebuilding. But if your breakfast is just carbs and sugar, toast, cereal, pastries, or even fruit alone, your osteoblasts don't get the materials they need. And that window closes. By the time you eat lunch, your body has moved on to other priorities. The bone-building moment has passed. This is why so many seniors take calcium supplements and still lose bone density. Because they're taking those supplements at random times, often on an empty stomach or late in the day, when their bones aren't primed to absorb them. It's not that the calcium is bad. It's that the timing is off. And it's not paired with the other nutrients bones need to actually use it. Think of it like this. If you're building a house, you can't just dump a pile of bricks on the ground and expect a house to appear. You need a foundation, a frame, tools, and a plan. Your bones are the same way. Calcium is the bricks. But without protein, collagen, magnesium, and the right delivery system, those bricks just sit there unused. That's why whole foods, especially at breakfast, are so much more powerful than isolated supplements. Whole foods come with a complete package of nutrients that work together. They're easier to digest, easier to absorb, and they support your entire body, not just one isolated function. And when you choose the right whole food to add to your breakfast, something that's rich in bone-building nutrients and easy for seniors to digest, the results can be remarkable. You start to feel steadier on your feet. You notice less stiffness. You move with more confidence. And over time, your bones actually begin to rebuild the density they've lost. So what is this magical breakfast edition? Let's talk about it now. The ingredient I'm talking about is prunes. Yes, simple, humble dried plums. And before you dismiss them as something your grandmother ate, let me tell you why prunes are being called a bone-building superfood by researchers all over the world. Prunes are packed with nutrients that directly support bone health in ways that almost no other food can match. And the best part? They're affordable, easy to find, simple to prepare, and gentle on your digestive system. Let's start with what makes prunes so powerful. First, they're incredibly rich in boron, a trace mineral that most people have never even heard of. But boron plays a critical role in bone metabolism. It helps your body hold on to calcium and magnesium, and it supports the production of estrogen and testosterone, both of which protect your bones. Studies show that people who get enough boron have significantly stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures. And prunes are one of the richest natural sources of boron available. Second, prunes are loaded with vitamin K, specifically vitamin K1. This vitamin activates a protein called osteocalcin, which binds calcium to your bones. Without enough vitamin K, calcium can't anchor properly, and it ends up floating around in your bloodstream instead of strengthening your skeleton. Prunes give you a concentrated dose of vitamin K in every serving, making them one of the most efficient ways to support calcium absorption naturally. Third, prunes contain polyphenol, which are plant compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Inflammation is one of the hidden enemies of bone health. Chronic low-grade inflammation speeds up bone breakdown and slows down bone formation. The polyphenol in prunes help reduce that inflammation, creating a healthier environment for your bones to rebuild. In fact, research has shown that the polyphenol in prunes can actually suppress osteoclast activity, the cells that break down bone, while boosting osteoblast activity, the cells that build bone up. Fourth, prunes provide a good amount of magnesium and potassium, two minerals that work hand in hand with calcium. Magnesium helps convert vitamin D into its active form, which your body needs to absorb calcium. Potassium helps neutralize acids in your body that can leach calcium out of your bones. Together, these minerals create a balanced environment where your bones can thrive. And fifth, prunes support gut health. They're rich in fiber and sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that promotes gentle, regular digestion. Why does this matter for bones? Because a healthy gut absorbs nutrients better. If your digestive system is sluggish or inflamed, you're not getting the full benefit of the foods you eat, no matter how nutritious they are. Prunes help keep things moving, which means your body can pull more bone-building nutrients out of every meal. Now, let's talk about the research. Multiple studies have looked at prunes and bone health, especially in postmenopausal women and older adults. One landmark study from Florida State University found that women who ate prunes daily for 1 year had significantly higher bone density in their hips and spine compared to women who didn't. Another study showed that prunes helped prevent bone loss, even in people who weren't taking calcium supplements. Researchers believe this is because prunes don't just add one nutrient. They provide a synergistic blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that work together to protect and rebuild bone. And here's what makes prunes especially great for seniors. They're soft, easy to chew, and easy to digest. You don't need teeth strong enough to crunch through raw vegetables or nuts. You don't need a complicated recipe. You can eat them straight from the bag, chop them into oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or stir them into yogurt. They taste naturally sweet, so they satisfy your morning sugar craving in a healthy way. And unlike many supplements, prunes are a whole food, which means your body recognizes them, absorbs them easily, and uses them efficiently. So if you're over 60 and you want to restore bone strength naturally, adding just a few prunes to your breakfast every single morning could be one of the simplest and most effective changes you ever make. Now that you know why prunes are so powerful, let's talk about how to use them correctly. Because like anything, more isn't always better, and timing matters. The good news is you don't need to eat a huge amount to see real benefits. In most studies, participants ate between 5 and 10 prunes per day. That's about 50 to 100 grams, or roughly a small handful. And that's the sweet spot. Enough to deliver all the bone-building nutrients your body needs, but not so much that it causes digestive discomfort. If you're new to prunes, I recommend starting with just 3 to 5 per day for the first week. Let your body adjust. Prunes are high in fiber, and if you're not used to that, jumping straight to 10 could lead to bloating or loose stools. But once your system adapts, you can gradually increase to 6, 8, or 10 prunes depending on how you feel. Some people do great with 5. Others find that 8 or 10 works better for them. Listen to your body. When should you eat them? Ideally, with breakfast or as part of your morning routine. Remember, your bones are most receptive to nutrients in the morning, so that's when you want to fuel them. You can eat prunes on their own, or you can add them to other foods. Chop them up and stir them into oatmeal or yogurt. Blend them into a smoothie with almond milk, a banana, and a spoonful of nut butter. Spread them on whole grain toast with a little almond butter or ricotta cheese. Or simply eat them alongside your eggs and whole grain toast. The key is consistency. Eating prunes once in a while won't do much. But eating them every single morning, day after day, week after week, creates real, lasting change. Now let's talk about safety and precautions. Prunes are generally very safe for most seniors, but there are a few things to keep in mind. First, if you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, talk to your doctor before adding prunes to your daily routine. Prunes are high in vitamin K, which can affect how these medications work. Your doctor may just need to monitor your levels more closely, but it's important to have that conversation. Second, if you have diabetes or you're watching your blood sugar, be mindful of portion sizes. Prunes do contain natural sugars, and while they also contain fiber which slows sugar absorption, eating too many at once could spike your blood sugar. Stick to 5 to 10 prunes, and consider pairing them with protein or healthy fat to further stabilize your blood sugar response. Third, if you have a sensitive stomach or a history of digestive issues like irritable bowel syndrome, start slow. Prunes have a gentle laxative effect, which is actually helpful for many seniors who struggle with constipation. But if your system is already sensitive, ease into it. You can also try prune juice, which is a little gentler, though whole prunes are better because they contain more fiber and nutrients. And finally, make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. Fiber works best when you're well hydrated. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water daily, and your digestion will thank you. With these simple guidelines, prunes become an easy, enjoyable, and incredibly effective part of your morning routine. No complicate timing, no me azure, no stress. Just a small handful every morning, and your bones get exactly what they need to rebuild and strengthen naturally. Let's make this practical. Here are 5 simple, delicious, senior-friendly breakfast ideas that include prunes and take less than 5 minutes to prepare. These are designed to be soft, easy to chew, easy to digest, and packed with bone-building nutrition. Recipe 1. Prune and oatmeal power bowl. Cook a half cup of rolled oats with water or milk. While it's still warm, chop up 5 to 6 prunes and stir them in. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, a drizzle of honey, and a tablespoon of chopped walnuts or almonds if you like. This gives you fiber, protein, healthy fats, and all the bone-strengthening nutrients from the prunes. It's warm, comforting, and incredibly satisfying. Recipe 2. Creamy yogurt prune parfait. Take a bowl of plain Greek yogurt, which is high in protein and calcium. Chop 4 to 5 prunes into small pieces and fold them in. Add a handful of blueberries or sliced banana, and top with a sprinkle of ground flaxseed or chia seeds for extra omega-3s. This is cold, creamy, and perfect for seniors who prefer lighter breakfasts. Recipe 3. Prune smoothie with greens. In a blender, combine 5 prunes, 1 banana, a handful of spinach, a cup of almond milk or regular milk, and a tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter. Blend until smooth. This is a complete meal in a glass. It's easy to drink, easy to digest, and loaded with vitamins, minerals, and protein. If you have trouble chewing, this is your go-to option. Recipe 4. Whole grain toast with prune spread. Mash 6 to 8 prunes in a bowl with a fork until they form a thick, jam-like paste. Spread this on a slice of toasted whole grain bread. Top with a thin layer of ricotta cheese or cottage cheese for extra protein and calcium. This is simple, portable, and delicious. It's like a grown-up version of toast and jam, but infinitely healthier. Recipe 5. Scrambled eggs with prunes on the side. Make your usual scrambled eggs with a little butter or olive oil. Serve them with 5 prunes on the side, along with a slice of whole grain toast. The eggs give you high-quality protein. The prunes deliver the bone-building nutrients, and the toast adds fiber and energy. It's a balanced, traditional breakfast with a powerful twist. All of these recipes are flexible. You can swap ingredients based on what you have at home or what you enjoy. The key is to make prunes a non-negotiable part of your morning. Treat them like you would your coffee or your vitamins. They're that important. And once you find a recipe you love, it becomes effortless. No thinking, no stress, just a simple habit that supports your bones every single day. Adding prunes to your breakfast is a powerful first step. But if you want to maximize your bone strength, there are a few other simple morning habits that work beautifully alongside them. These don't take much time, and they don't require any special equipment. But together, they create a morning routine that supports your bones from every angle. First, get some sunlight. Spend 10 to 15 minutes outside in the morning sun, or sit by a sunny window. Sunlight triggers your body to produce vitamin D, which is absolutely essential for calcium absorption. Without enough vitamin D, even if you're eating calcium-rich foods, your body can't use them properly. Morning sunlight is especially effective because it also helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle, which improves overall health. Second, drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Hydration supports every system in your body, including your bones. It helps transport nutrients, flush out toxins, and keep your joints lubricated. Add a squeeze of lemon if you like. The vitamin C in lemon supports collagen production, which, as we discussed, is critical for bone structure. Third, do 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement. This could be stretching, yoga, tai chi, or even just walking around your home. Weight-bearing movement sends signals to your bones that they need to stay strong. Even light activity makes a difference. Try standing on one leg for 30 seconds on each side to improve balance. Do 10 gentle squats, holding onto a chair for support. Or march in place for a minute or two. These simple movements activate your muscles, which in turn activates your bones. Fourth, add a source of omega-3 fats to your breakfast. This could be a tablespoon of ground flaxseed in your oatmeal, a few walnuts in your yogurt, or a serving of salmon or sardines if you enjoy savory breakfasts. Omega-3s reduce inflammation, which protects your bones from excessive breakdown. And fifth, practice gratitude or mindfulness for just 2 minutes. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, and high cortisol weakens bones over time. Taking a moment to breathe deeply, reflect on something you're grateful for, or simply sit quietly with your morning coffee can lower stress and support your overall health, including your bones. These 5 habits, combined with your prune-powered breakfast, create a morning routine that doesn't just maintain your bone strength. It actively rebuilds it. And the beauty is, none of this is complicated or time-consuming. It's just small, intentional choices that add up to big results over time. You've made it to the end, and now you have everything you need to start rebuilding your bone strength naturally. You know what's been missing from your breakfast. You know why it matters. You know how to use it, when to use it, and how to make it part of your daily routine. And you know the simple habits that multiply the benefits even further. So now, the only question is, will you take action? I want to invite you to try the 30-day Bone Strength Challenge. It's simple. For the next 30 days, eat 5 to 10 prunes every single morning. Pair them with a balanced breakfast. Drink water. Get a little sunlight. Move your body gently. And watch what happens. You might notice that you feel steadier on your feet. You might find that your joints feel less stiff. You might sleep better, digest better, and move with more confidence. And while you won't be able to measure your bone density at home, you'll feel the difference in how your body responds. Keep a journal if you want. Write down how you feel each week. Note any changes, no matter how small. Celebrate the wins. And if you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just start again the next morning. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. And every single day that you choose to nourish your bones is a day that you're investing in your future strength, your independence, and your quality of life. Remember, your bones are alive. They're constantly rebuilding, and are waiting for you to give them what they need. You have more control over your bone health than you might think. It's not about luck or genetics. It's about the choices you make every morning. And those choices add up. So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, make yourself a beautiful breakfast. Add those prunes. Drink your water. Step outside into the sunlight. Move your body with intention. And know that you're doing something powerful for yourself. You're taking charge. You're rebuilding. And you're proving that age is just a number when you know how to support your body the right way. Thank you for watching. I'm cheering for you. And I'll see you in the next video, where we'll talk about even more ways to stay strong, healthy, and thriving after 60. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.